So for those of you, and I'm amazed if this is true, who don't know Carol Levally, we wanted to invite her tonight to share her journey as a founder and CEO of Rustic Bakery. I love learning how when she launched her company in 2005 with her husband Josh Harris, she got a little nudge from the gals at Cowgirl Creamery because they wanted the perfect cracker to go with the perfect cheese. And as you know, the rest is a very tasty and very Marin history, or her story, sorry. So without further ado, Carol.
Thank you, Mimi. That was very, very nice. Is that working? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I'd also like to thank Marin Magazine for inviting me to speak tonight and to host this wonderful event celebrating women. It's great to be here. So Marin Magazine did a really nice write-up about our business in this month's issue, and thank you again for that. And so I thought, well, you guys probably have read that, and what else can I tell you about Rustic Bakery? So I decided to look at this a little bit differently than just talking about our business. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is the dynamics and the relationship between risk and reward, and what that means to us as entrepreneurs. I took a risk 14 years ago and founded Rustic Bakery with a simple idea: artisan flatbread crackers to pair with cheese. In 2005, I saw a need in the marketplace for a premium artisan cracker to pair with all of the fine farmstead cheese that was starting to be produced in the United States. At that time, crackers were not artisan at all. Ritz crackers and Carr's water crackers were the standard crackers to serve with cheese. And I had a different vision. I wanted to create a fresh bakery cracker that would be made with the highest quality ingredients in small batches using organic ingredients as well. I had no experience in the food world whatsoever. I was a fashion designer at the time, but I didn't let that stop me from pursuing what I thought was a good idea. So taking a risk, I boldly contacted the very finest local cheesemakers that I knew of, Sue Connolly and Peggy Smith, and I introduced myself. Sue and Peggy had been making cheese for about 8 years at that time, and they were considered to be leaders in the field of artisan cheese production. I presented the cowgirls with my idea for an artisan line of flavored flatbread crackers to pair with their cheeses, and I asked them to help me launch the bakery business. Luckily for me, they liked both the idea and the crackers and took a risk of their own by becoming my first customer. They bought the flatbread crackers for their own stores, as well as agreeing to distribute them across the country to their own customers. The endorsement I received from the cowgirls was a huge advantage to me as I started to build my business. The risk I took by calling them paid off for me in a big way. So with that in mind, I want to talk to you tonight about the relationship between the entrepreneur, risk, and reward. There's a synergy and a balance between reward and risk that we need to recognize and understand if we're going to succeed as entrepreneurs. I've always been an entrepreneur. Rustic Bakery is not the start of my story. My first venture in business was when I was 10 years old. Taking a risk, I went door to door in my neighborhood with my red wagon and collected soda bottles from my neighbors to redeem at the local grocery for the deposits. I saw an angle where I could provide a service that cost me nothing and saved my neighbors time. I was hooked with my first $5 payout and considered myself an entrepreneur from then on. Historically, women have been the nurturers and the supporters of other people, with their needs and desires usually coming last. Women focus on keeping family and loved ones safe and secure, and generally avoiding risk. So how can we as women conquer our fear of risk and create rewards from risk instead? The answer is we can take small risks. You must be willing to take small risks that take you out of your comfort zone a little bit at a time if you want to achieve the reward of becoming a successful entrepreneur. When we're children, we do this all the time, taking small risks daily. If we're going to walk or talk or ride a bike, we need to go from someone who one week does not ride a bike to the next week who does ride a bike. As children, we embrace learning and doing new things, and we are generally fearless. As we get older, we start to take fewer and fewer risks. We worry about the fear of failing, and it stops us from trying things. So what does this tell us? If you have a passion or a desire to start a business venture, you should not let the risk factor paralyze you and keep you from achieving the rewards associated with the risk. I have learned that small risks taken in baby steps will get you there. After 14 years in business, I now have a 50,000 square foot bakery in Petaluma. If I had thought that was what was needed when I started this business, I never would have even tried. But step by step, little by little, the bakery that I dreamt of finally came into being October 13th, 2015. We opened our doors to our very first wholesale-only bakery almost 10 years to the day of our first shipment to the Cowgirl Creamery, which was October 15th of 2005. So slowly but surely, we got there. So don't let your fear stop you from pursuing your dream. The worst thing that can happen is you would fail, but you would learn from the experience. It's much worse to have a dream of a good idea and never pursue it. You will always wonder if it could have been a success. I encourage you tonight to try that idea you've been thinking about, no matter what it is. I'm here to tell you that crazy ideas work. Entrepreneurship is the courage to create a pathway to balance both risk and reward successfully. Thank you for your attention. Wishing you all great rewards from the risks that you choose to take. Public speaker.
Thank you, Carol. That was so inspiring. We just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Don't forget your great goodie bag that has some Rustic Bakery treats. And everybody look at each other's name tags, and there's great people in this room. Thank you.